Okay, bonjour. So today we'll look at the verbs prendre and boire, meaning to take and to drink, and so that you'll be able to use those verbs in many different contexts as you're speaking, writing, etc. So we're going to start with the verb prendre, which means mostly to take. D'accord? However, the verb prendre is used in many different contexts in French, as you'll see on the back of this note sheet, and it also has many verbs built from it. So let's first go ahead and conjugate it. So on the left-hand side, what you need to know, and you may want to write this down, is that it's basically an RE verb. D'accord? That means that on the left-hand side, when you're conjugating, drop RE and then add SS nothing. D'accord? And that's it. So repeat after me. Je prends, tu prends, il prend. D'accord? It's also very commonly used in ordering, d'accord? To say, like, you could say, I would like a sandwich, je voudrais un sandwich, or you can say, je prends un sandwich. I'm having, or I'm taking a sandwich. I take a sandwich, d'accord? So just know that you can use it in ordering, especially since this is the cafe unit. Bon, on the right-hand side, it's a little bit more complicated. The first thing that you have to know to do is to drop the D. D'accord? Notice that there's a D when you drop RE. You have to get rid of it on the right-hand side, because if you keep it, well, you're wrong. you're just wrong to have it there. D'accord? And that's one of the most common errors when it comes to conjugation, is that people treat prendre like a regular RE verb all the way. On the right-hand side, it is not regular. Drop the D. D'accord? When you drop the D, you'll notice that it now ends in N for the stem. So repeat after me. Nous prenons. Vous prenez. And whenever you have N as the last letter in the stem, a lonely N, you double the N in the third person plural. So repeat after me. Ils prennent. D'accord? So notice the pronunciation there. Repeat after me again. Nous prenons. Vous prenez. Ils prennent. D'accord? So that's basically it. And then it's just adding ONS, EZ, ENT. Well, the past participle we've learned already when we did our irregular past participles, and that is pris, P-R-I-S. When we did those past participles, you were also exposed to a lot of verbs that are built from prendre, like apprendre, to learn, comprendre, to understand, and surprendre, to surprise. D'accord? There's a few more that are added here. For example, entreprendre, which means to undertake. And this is where we get the word entrepreneur in English, because it's someone who undertakes a venture. D'accord? There's also méprendre, which means to take the wrong way. So I could say, tu l'as mépris, you've taken it the wrong way. You, it, have wrongly taken, or something like that, maybe as a translation. Tu l'as mépris. And then reprendre, which of course RE means again or back, so to take back. D'accord? So that's your verb prendre. Let's look at boire. Now, boire is a lot like voir on the left-hand side. So we can already say as a pattern that we have OI in the boot. Oops. We see that we have OI in the boot, and we see that we have supersonic train. D'accord? So that's just on the left-hand side. D'accord? So repeat after me. Je bois. Tu bois. Il boit. D'accord? And you could also use this when ordering. Je bois le vin rouge. I'm drinking the red wine. D'accord? To say I will have or I would like. On the right-hand side, it gets a little bit more complicated, because you're going to do buve plus the ending. Now, where on earth did buve come from? D'accord? Well, if you think about it, there's a word in English related to drinking that is very similar to this. It's not B-U-V, but it's B-E-V, beverage. D'accord? So where does that V come from? It's because the Latin root evolved in such a way that there's a V. D'accord? And so you don't see it in the infinitive and you don't see it in the singular conjugations, but you do need it for the plural conjugations. So repeat after me. Nous buvons, vous buvez. And then the third person plural is a little bit bizarre because you've got OI, but that's not surprising. You've had that before. OI in the boot, right? So since there's OI in the boot, you still have to keep that V, and that gives you, repeat after me, ils boivent. D'accord? To say they're drinking. D'accord? So then the past participle, I forget if we've had this one before, but it's not surprising that it's going to just be BU. J'ai bu. J'ai bu du lait. I drank wine. No, milk. D'accord? The one thing I'm going to run through just one more time is the pronunciation of these three. This is that very tight U sound that's like an E with your lips rounded. So it's not U, but U. D'accord? So as you're repeating, make sure you try and say it not nous buvons, but nous buvons. Nous buvons. So repeat after me. Nous buvons. Vous buvez. And then the past participle bu. D'accord? All right, let's do some practice on the back. So first you see some expressions that I will use on quizzes. You'll always see the English translation, but the reason I'm putting these here is because you're going to see things like we can grab a drink tonight. Well, where's the verb to take? It's because it's idiomatic. To say to take, or I'm sorry, to say to have a drink, you say to take a glass. Prendre un verre, and that's how they say to have a drink. Okay. So doing number one together, I see on. So if I see on as the subject, should I conjugate it in the third person singular? Not necessarily. Remember, if there's another verb that's conjugated, a modal verb, on peut prendre un verre ce soir. One can take, d'accord, in the infinitive. D'accord? You have plenty of experience doing the verbs, so you can go ahead and do those. Make sure you read over the idiomatic expressions just to, get an idea. D'accord? So to get some fresh air. Oh, you literally say to take air or to take the air. That's interesting. To say to make a decision, you say to take a decision. Not faire, but prendre. Interesting. D'accord? So read through those, s'il vous plaît. Et voilà. And that's it. D'accord? So good luck.